The position property helps you to position elements on the web page other than the default position they get through the HTML structure. We will discuss 5 values: static, relative, absolute, fixed, and sticky. And static is the easiest one, because that is the default. The element with the position of static will keep its default position based on the HTML structure. A relative position sets the position of an element relative to where it would otherwise be. So let's try it out with this button. Click Inspect. We'll use the element style and give it a position of relative. Now this does not do anything, but now we can move it around. We can do stuff like left 200 pixels, which moves the button 200 pixels to the left from where it would otherwise be. We can also do top 200 pixels. We scroll down, because this moves it 200 pixels from the top to where it would otherwise be. If we want to move it up, we can also do minus 50 pixels to the top. And now it has moved up. Now we have to keep in mind that when we move an element using positioning, it does not affect the other elements on the page. So you can create elements which overlap. And in the Z-index lesson, we will determine which element is shown in front. Now let's get rid of this. And let's try out position absolute. And with position absolute, we really take the element out of the flow and position it relative to its parent. Absolute does affect other elements on the page, because they act like the element with the position absolute is not there at all. So for instance, when we give this image the position of absolute, the header and paragraph start behaving like the image is not there. Now let's go back to the button and see what happens. When we, for instance, add top 0. Now we have to scroll up, and the button is right here. Because the button is now 0 pixels from the top of the parent container. So we can also set it to right 0 or right 20 pixels. Let's increase that a bit. There we go. So with the position of absolute, we can move the element around relative to its parent's container. Now with position fixed, we also take the element out of the flow, but we can position it relative to the screen. So we can place the button on the top right, for instance. And let's do it below the menu. So let's say top 100 pixels and right 0. But the biggest difference between position fixed and position absolute is that with position fixed, the element stays there. So when we scroll down, we actually see the button stay in the same place. And this is useful for the navigation, for instance, because this navigation over here also keeps the same place, so it also has the position of fixed. Now here's a fun little exercise. If you have a sticky navigation, like I have on my website, make it stay at its original position. So get rid of the sticky behavior. And if you don't have a sticky navigation, make it stick, so it is always visible on the page when you scroll down and up. Now pause the video and give that a go. I hope that wasn't too hard. You simply had to change the position property of your navigation. In my case, the position is set to fixed, so I can either set it to static, like this, and when I scroll down, it stays on top. And if you already have a static navigation, you can add position and set it to fixed. And when you scroll down, it stays right there. A relative new position value is the value of sticky, and we can see it here on W3 schools. Sticky combines the static and the fixed position. So let's see what happens. This here is sticky. When we scroll down, it gets the position of fixed when we scroll past it. And this looks really nice, but the value of sticky is not supported for all browsers yet. So be careful with this when you use it in your A/B tests. So in summary, static is the default. And with the value of relative, you can set the position to where it would otherwise be. With absolute, you can set the position relative to its parent. And with fixed, you can set the element's position relative to the screen and make it stay there. The value sticky is relatively new and combines static and fixed, but it is not supported on all browsers yet.